probably foolishly chosen to spend your Friday morning with me. So here we are. We're going to spend an hour together, probably. Might as well make it worth your time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over our home health care products. And if we've got time, about 5 minutes on our dental products, which is also really, really good. It's different than other dental. Every time I say we got dental, I can see people's eyes roll in the back of their head like, I don't want it. It would be 3 minutes to talk about it. I think you'll see it's a little bit different. How many people in this room are currently somewhat actively writing our home health care products? A few of you. Okay, good. So I'm just going to give this presentation as if no one is. So for those of you who are doing it, I apologize if it's redundant. Maybe I'll give you one little tiny tidbit that can help you sell it even a little bit better. A little bit about me and our organization. You know, insurance is different. If you're buying a car, do you really care how good the dealership is as long as the car works? Probably not. Do you care how good the Best Buy is where you get the computer as long as you get the computer out of there and home? Probably not. Insurance is a little bit different. You're not buying it for today. You're buying it hoping you never have to use it. But if you do, you're hoping that's way down the road. So you got to know the company's going to be there later. We've been around for 57 years. We are a B++ rated company, which given our size and scope is the absolute highest we can get. You can't get any higher until we get a lot bigger. Not to bore you guys with numbers and details, there's something called a VACAR, which is a financial ratio that is so far over my head that I don't understand, other than I know that our VACAR number ratio is A++ rated. We get dinged for not being in all 50 states, not having only pretty much doing health insurance, and being small. That's it. Otherwise, we'd be an A++ rated company as well. One of the things that we really take pride in is being a smaller organization. We are not a big insurance company. And I think that a lot of people who are smaller try to present themselves as being bigger than they really are. And we're kind of the opposite. We take pride in being small. It's nice to know when you call our office, you're going to get a human being. For those of you who write business with us, every single app that comes through, we don't send it down to new business until that app is right. Does new business care about whether or not you get commission, the person making $14 an hour? No. They're going to look at it. They're going to make one phone call to Mrs. Smith. She doesn't call back, it's not going to get issued. It's incumbent on you at that point to get it fixed because you missed one line on an application. We don't do that. Our front office is going to make sure by the time that piece of business goes down to new business that it is filled out correctly, and to the extent that there's money in that bank account, the policy will get issued, period. That's a new one. I've never had that.
Can you talk over the popcorn? I was salivating for some reason.
Now, there are shortcomings to being small too. Yes, we do have that personal touch. We're going to help you every step of the way. You will get more attention from us than you get from Cigna, Aetna, whoever else you guys are doing business with. What's the downside? Maybe you don't have the capacity to make sure that everything gets done. Like, what if Judy and claims isn't there on Tuesday? Is the claim going to get paid? What if, more importantly probably for you, what if bill and commission accounting isn't there? Is my commission going to go through? Which is kind of scary when you talk about small companies. We do have an answer to that. Fortunately, we are affiliated with Guaranteed Trust Life, GTL. They do all of our back office work. They do our commissions, our new business, our claims, our customer service, not agent service, but customer service, et cetera, et cetera. So we do kind of feel like we get all the advantages of dealing with a big company while also having the same advantages of that personal touch that a small company has to offer. And hopefully when you guys write business with us, you'll see it. A little bit about myself. I'm the head of sales for UNL. I've been doing this for about 3.5 years. I was in the field for 10 prior to coming to this. I started off with Bankers Life and Casualty in 2005. I won't give you my whole resume other than to tell you I've done a lot of different things in this business. Senior market, underage, work site, did association plans with underage people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think, well, I don't know, you guys can say I'm full of it. I think what sets us apart, and all of our sales guys who do what I do, we have 2, have all been in the field for over 10 years. I think that sets us apart. When the guy who's kind of in charge of making sure that you get paid and the products are good, and when you're dealing with an organization that's been out in the field for an extended period of time, not like a 3-month training period, I think that's a little bit different. And we really enjoy that. We like being a sales-based organization. When I first started with UNL, I was of the opinion that the UNL employees didn't even know who our customers were. I still am training them on. They think it's the policyholders. It's like, well, that's true, but if we don't have agents, we're out of business. So I would argue that our customers are the agents. That's just my opinion, being an agent myself. That went a lot longer than I planned on it going, so we'll see now. These slides that we put together on the PowerPoint didn't just fall together in a random order. We put them in a specific order, and this is the first slide, not by accident. This is the single most important thing in our industry that we're going to talk about. You'll notice as we talk about cross-selling, I'm not going to talk about UNL. This has nothing to do with selling United National Life Insurance. This has to do with making sure that everybody in this room can become either a way better or slightly better agent. In my capacity as a manager and field trainer and recruiter and branch manager, I got some variation of this question all the time, typically with a newer agent. You know, Rush, I get this business. I like it. I think that it's for me. I see Tom making $15,000 a month every month. I can do what Tom does. I've seen him work. I know I can do what he does. I just have to make more money now to bridge the gap because I'm not making as much money as I like. When you hired me, I said I need to make $1,000 a week to pay my bills, and I'm making $500. What do I do? Some variation of that question. When I was brand new at it, I really felt like I gave a really good rah-rah speech. Just keep working harder. Don't put the phone down. You can do it. But that's not really the answer. The answer is very simple. It gets reduced down to two options. This new agent has two choices. They're making $500 a week and their minimum goal is $1,000 to pay their bills. Here's option one. Option one is, we'll look at the numbers. I see you're making 200 phone calls a week to set 15 appointments to keep 10 and you're selling 2. You're making 2 sales a week. They're averaging about $250 commission. You're making $500. So you can keep doing what you're doing. You just got to make 400 calls a week to set 30 appointments to keep 20 and sell 4. And you'll get to $1,000 a week. However, that's going to take you about 100 hours. That's a really low-paying 100-hour-a-week job. That's a hard way to make $1,000 a week. You're making $10 an hour to cold call on phones and get told no all day long. I would argue you should probably go work at a Starbucks for 100 hours a week. If that's your goal. But the good news is there's a second option. Those people who are buying your stuff, they trust you. They're buyers. They're a client of yours. When you go through them and talk to them, instead of selling them one med stuff, sell them 2 things on a as-needed basis. And we're going to talk about why that's beneficial beyond just making more money. But now instead of making $250, you make $500, and you do that twice. Now you made $1,000 a week, and the business will stick more. It's the single most important piece of advice I could ever give somebody who is either new in this industry or is trying to make a little bit more money. It's the first thing we look at. How many sales are you making in every house where you make a sale? And if it's only one, we need to take a big step back and do some retraining. In the interest of full disclosure, when I first started in this business and I sold a med stuff, you would see a Rush Holson cutout in the door because I couldn't get out of that house fast enough. So I was afraid they were going to change their mind. It takes time to sit there and be patient and realize they're not going to change their mind. They trust me. If they got their checkbook out, they're good. So there's 3 reasons to do it. Number 1, it helps our clients. Number 2, it increases our persistency. And 3, we make more money. So let's talk about helping our clients. This is an easy question. What percentage of your clients would you say, anybody can jump out and answer this, are experts in the healthcare business? 5. 1 in a million. And they shouldn't be. They're teachers, they're farmers, they worked in a factory, whatever it was that they did. You know what they didn't do? They didn't work in the insurance business. They're retired trying to get the biggest bang for their buck. So we'll use Mr. Smith, 70 years old, got a Plan F med sub. Never come out of pocket once in 5 years. Gone to the doctor, he's relatively healthy. Medicare obviously covers everything. Why wouldn't it? I've been going for 5 years, I've never paid a penny. That's what he thinks. And why would he think otherwise? So if you go in there and you sell him a Plan G or whatever it is, you save him $100 or $80 a month, and you go about your way, he is going to think that if something happens to him and he ends up in a long-term care situation, whether or not it be home health care or a nursing facility or whatever, he is going to think that he is covered. Is that fair to say? We agree on that? 3 years go by, he ends up in a home health care situation, spends his all of his savings, ends up broke on Medicaid in a Medicaid assisted facility. That happens. That is real life. That's not me making it up. That's not me being a chicken little, the sky is falling. That happens every single day, multiple times a day. If you went in there and you sold him a meds up and you didn't talk about this, whose fault is that? It's the agent's fault. You're all experts. The state of South Carolina says so. You have a license to do this. Not everybody can do it. You have to pass the test. The state has to deem you that you have expertise in this business. You are an expert. Now, if you do a needs-based presentation and you show Mr. Smith this, and he doesn't buy it, whose fault is it then?
Yes.
Then it's his fault. There's only 3 things in our industry that we can't overcome in the house. Anybody want to care to take a guess? Not all of them.
Lack of funds?
Broke. Truly broke, though. I don't mean like a King Ranch Ford F-150 in the driveway and a 70-inch flat screen, but truly broke. If they don't have any money, of course they can't buy it. Anything else?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Absolutely. You can never win an argument with a moron because they got more practice. Number 3. Here you go, health. Big myth in our business is that money buys insurance. It does not. Health buys insurance. Bill Gates could not get a cancer policy if he was diagnosed with cancer a year ago. As an aside, I gave this presentation about a year ago, and I was kind of sleepwalking through it, and I accidentally said Steve Jobs couldn't get a cancer policy. It was not a good look. Yeah, we can't overcome bad health, we can't overcome truly broke, and we can't overcome ignorance. But if you're doing a needs-based presentation, they will buy it if they trust you. That's what I always say. I tell if you ever had the misfortune of working in my office, there's a phrase that you would have gotten so tired of hearing, you would have had nightmares about it. It was SW, SW, SWN. I said it 100 times a day. Whenever there be some people by the water cooler complaining about the sale they didn't make, SW, SW, SWN. It means some will, some won't, so what, next. That's why we make 15 appointments. And anybody in this room knows who the buyers are going to be in advance. After the meeting, shoot me an email. We'll both quit our jobs and start a company because we'll be millionaires in a year. Nobody knows. We can be really good at our job, but one thing we are not is fortune tellers. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. That's why we got to have 10 appointments. This is one of my favorite quotes, talking about ignorance. To argue with a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to the dead. One of the reasons I actually talk about that, I think it's important because people fixate so much on the people who don't buy. And unfortunately, and I'm sure everybody in this room would attest to this, almost always the person who doesn't buy it is the person who needs it the most. Like Mrs. Smith, everybody in your family has had cancer. You have Medicare Advantage, you've got this huge exposure, and it's like $15 a month. I can't tell you how much you need this. And they come up with something silly and ignorant about it. You gotta go to the next one. Don't argue it. So yeah, this is just a rhetorical question, but obviously your clients are much better off being covered for something that they don't even know they need. You do a needs-based presentation, you could save their life, literally. Save them $100,000 and ending up in a Medicaid facility. Much better for them as opposed to saving $50 a month on the med stuff. I think we can all agree on that. This is my last kind of long anecdote, then we'll go more quickly. One of the things that I always like to do, because I think this is really important, we tend to get a little more, let me talk about myself. I used to tend to get a little bit of tunnel vision and view this business as transactional. I was SW, SWN. One house to the next house, go home, get on the phone the next day, and you do it wash, rinse, repeat forever until the end of time. One of the things I really like to do is break down what happens in a sale. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use a mail drop for leads, just because that's what I know. I don't know how you all generate leads here. But when you get a piece of mail, junk mail, what do you do with it? Throw it away.
I shred it.
Shred it. I get Publishers Clearinghouse junk mail that says I want $1 million, and I throw that in the trash. Mrs. Smith gets a piece of mail that says Medicare is changing. She looks at it and goes, wow, Medicare is changing. I definitely need more information on that. Let me fill this out. Sends it back to you. Ends up on my desk, and I call Mrs. Smith on the phone. How long does it take y'all to set an appointment when you call somebody? 30 seconds? Let's say Mrs. Smith's really tough and it's like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Sure, Mr. Holson, random stranger I've never met before who might come over and kill me, come over and talk to me about Medicare on Tuesday for 2 hours. I'd love to do it. And when we do it, we'll talk about all my personal information. I'll tell you about my health. I'll tell you about all my insurance, my financial situation. It'll be great. Come over and do it. And we find out that Mrs. Smith's got a $175 a week per month Plan F. We switch her to a Plan G. She writes it up. I feel really good about myself. I kind of made $180, and I go about my way to the next appointment. Mrs. Smith picked up a piece of junk mail, filled out a form, answered a phone number that she didn't recognize, let you come over to her house, gave you all of her personal information, wrote you a check, promised to pay it every single month for as long as she keeps the plan. What is Mrs. Smith? What? Client. What else? Buyer. There you go. Mrs. Smith is a buyer. Buyers are great. They're the reason that we have jobs. Everybody is in this room today because of buyers. I can assure you, I would never fill out a card, let somebody call me on the phone, take the call, tell them about my insurance, write a check that day. A lot of people don't. That's why you get a lot of no's when you call them on the phone. Was Mrs. Smith a buyer before I sent her that lead card? Of course. Does she stop being a buyer when I go out the door? No, she's still a buyer. Nothing has changed. If I just sell her a med sup, give her a business card and a policy, and never talk to her again, guess what? I hate to break it to you, somebody's going to have a cheaper med sup eventually. Someone's going to break it into the market with a cheaper one. We're at AEP right now. Someone's going to give her a $0 Medicare Advantage plan. Yeah, you got some copays here and there, but I can save you $1,200 a year. Or maybe Mrs. Smith's nephew gets it in the insurance business, and you got to have all your insurance with him or her. His niece, I guess. And this is, you're going to get frustrated. And the beauty of med sups is they renew at the same amount for 6 straight years. You don't have to do anything. Just keep writing the same amount every year. Your income's going to go up like crazy, as long as they're not getting rewritten. You do the exact same thing. You ask Mrs. Smith 2 questions instead. Instead of taking that check and going, you just ask her 2 questions. Mrs. Smith, are you under the impression that if something happened to you and you needed a long-term care or home health care situation, that Medicare would take care of you? Her answer doesn't matter. Yes, I am under the impression. Well, let me show you that it doesn't. We'll get to that in a second. No, it doesn't. Well, then we need to have a conversation. What's your plan? Let me ask you another question, Mrs. Smith. If you did have a long-term care situation, would you rather receive care in your home or in a nursing home? What do you think the answer could be? Probably like in the home, because if I have to go to a nursing home, I'm going to put a bullet in my head. I've heard that a million times. I will never do that. Some form of, some outrageous excuse saying they'll never do it. They would much rather receive care in the home. You sell Mrs. Smith a home health care policy with UNL. So now you've got her doctor, her hospital, and her long-term care situation taken care of. You deliver it. You know, Mrs. Smith, when we came out here and talked the other day, we were talking about Medicare. That was why we came out here. And I think we've taken care of that. But I noticed when we were doing your needs assessment that you had a prearranged burial plot, prepaid burial plot, which is a really good start. But there's a lot more expenses associated with final expense. Let me show you how that works. You sell Mrs. Smith a final expense policy. Go home, goes through underwriting, it gets issued. You come out, you deliver it. Mrs. Smith, you start talking, you deliver the final expense. She says, now that we've kind of started to do something together, I got my neighbor was talking about annuities. I've got $150,000 in CDs coming up in 3 months. What are these annuities? I heard they get a better return. You sell her a $150,000 annuity. Does that really happen? Does she ask for an annuity? Of course not. You got to sell it. But let's say that happens. You issue the annuity. Now you've got her doctor, her hospital, her long-term care, her life insurance, and her finances. Not to mention the fact that instead of making $250, you probably made like $6 grand. But you have it all. Even though she's a buyer, is anybody getting in that house ever again? No. You know why? Because you're not somebody who sold her a med sup. You're her insurance agent. And the reason that everybody knows this is because you've been in that house, where you go in there and you got to talk to the agent. Oh, I got to talk to my insurance agent who handles everything. I always joke, I was like, you've arrived, you've really got somebody's business when they start calling you about auto and homeowners insurance. Because you're the insurance guy. Why wouldn't you have it? And it does happen.
Yeah.
So everybody, so your persistency will go up and you'll make more money. So everybody understands. I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. If you sell more stuff, you make more money. That's not really a complicated concept. I hope not. But I do want to spend about 1 minute on this slide and talk about time. I'm of the opinion that it takes 3 hours to sell a med sub. Between all of the calls you got to make, somebody saying yes, you drive out there, you meet them, you make the sale, and you drive home. Does anybody disagree with that? Is that fair? 3 hours? It also helps my math for a lot easier on this, so it's convenient. The average commission is $150. $50 an hour. That's a good living. $50 an hour is a lot of money. One of the big misconceptions, and everybody says it when people get hired, is anybody can do this. Anybody can be an insurance agent. Anybody can do it. It's not true. You know how much we would pay y'all if everybody could do it? Minimum wage, a salary, minimum wage, or I'd build a robot to go do it. Not everybody can do it. It's a skill, it's a craft, and it takes time. It's just like any sort of craftsman. And you get paid for doing that. $50 an hour is a lot of money. That said, give me 10 minutes in every house where you go. 10 minutes. Ask the 2 questions in your presentation. If selling this UNL home healthcare is taking more than 20 minutes, you're doing it wrong. This commission's high. Let's just say you made a $450 commission instead of $650 or $750, so you got $600. Instead of making $50 an hour, now you're making $200 an hour. Now that's real money. Let me ask a question. Anybody jump in? Why'd you get into this business? There's no wrong answer.
Needed a job.
What?
Needed a job.
Needed a job to help people out, right? Want to help people out? It's the number one answer we get. That's great, but nobody, if I stop paying your commission, my guess is you wouldn't write UNL. Is that fair? We do this to get paid too. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. The good thing is if you do it right, you'll make more and you'll help people out at the same time. All right. Creating the need. Is there a line out the door of people asking to buy med subs and long-term care and final expense? Why not? People don't think they need it. Don't think they need it. Our business is different, especially the UNL stuff with these ancillary products. I don't care how good our UNL home healthcare product is or whatever ancillary product, cancer insurance, whatever. It does not matter how good it is if you don't know how to sell it. Doesn't matter. And if you can't convince a client that they need it, it could be 50 cents a month to pay $100,000, you're never going to sell it. You've got to show them that they need it. Now, a lot of people think that's a disadvantage. It's another step in the sales process. Not only do I have to sell it, I got to show them that they need it. I would argue the contrary. I would say it actually makes it easier. If they don't have a home health care policy, by definition, no one has ever shown them that they need it. Otherwise, they haven't. So if you are able to create the need and show them that they need it and provide a solution, to the extent that they're not ignorant, broke, or too sick, they're gonna, and they trust you, they're gonna buy it almost every time. You are showing them a solution. So why do people need it? I don't need it, Rush. I've got Medicare and a med sub. I'm sorry. Medicare will take care of me. I don't need it. This is right off of Medicare.gov. So I'm going to read the part below. To decide if you're eligible for home health care, Medicare defines part-time or intermittent as skilled nursing care that's needed or given less than 7 days a week, less than 8 hours a day, and less than 21 days. The absolute most care you will ever get from the government is 3 weeks for home health care. And by the way, if you break your hip, you're going to need it for like 6 months. Good luck. This stuff is really hard to qualify for to get this. I'm not even going to get into that because we don't want to get into weeds on it. Just show them, look, the most care you're going to get is 3 weeks, and that's rare too. All right, Rush, I guess Medicare is not going to take care of me. I've always wanted a doctor, and Medicare is taking care of me. I thought it would work. I guess I don't have a plan. But you know what? It's not going to happen. I'm never going to need, definitely not going to a nursing facility, and I'm not going to need home health care. None of my friends have ever had to do it. All right, that's fine, but you're wrong. There is a 70% chance that people 65 or older are going to need some sort of long-term care in their life. So we'll break it down real easy, real simple. If you're talking to a married couple, that's a 91% chance that one of them's going to need it, and a 50% chance they're both going to need it. So if you want to flip a coin, that's fine. But it's not heads or tails. It's coming up against you 10 out of 11 times. You're going to risk your entire retirement savings on a 1 in 11 shot. Good luck. And that's the reality of the situation. That sounds dramatic, but it doesn't change the fact that it's true. All right, well, I guess Medicare won't take care of me. It looks like it's a little bit more likely to happen than I thought, but you know what, I'll just self-fund, because maybe it doesn't happen to me, so I'll just come out of my own pocket and pay for it. I'd rather self-fund to pay for insurance that I might not ever use. That'll be $50,000, $46,000 a year for you. How about I buy you a policy, you assign the benefit, and you give me the $50,000 instead? Is that a deal? Medicare is not going to cover them. It's very likely it's going to happen to them, and it could go through every single penny they've ever made. And what I always tell people, and I sold a lot of long-term care insurance when I was brand new to the business. It was still a thing. It was pretty easy to get issued back in 2005. And I used to tell people this, and it sounds pretty silly, but it's true. I say, you know, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Jones, whoever it may be, you know, I'm sure when you were in the prime of your working life, and you had kids at home, and you worked that overtime shift to take a little bit of money and maybe put it in your college fund for your kids, or put something away in your 401k, or get some savings. I'm sure when you were breaking the speed limit, driving home, and running through yellow lights to get home for your kids before they went to bed, I'm sure you were thinking, man, I'm so glad I worked hard so I could spend all this money when I'm older for long-term care. Because if they don't have a plan, that's what they did, whether or not they know it. It kind of illuminates things for them. And it's true. It does have the benefit of being true. All right, here we are. Now we'll talk about the plan. So if you've gone all in on cross-selling, now you have an idea of how to create the need for the product. Let's talk about how the actual product works. The only thing to understand on this page, I don't have a pointer, the second one on the right, to collect short-term home health care hospital benefits, a prior hospitalization stay is not required. Sounds innocuous enough, but that is very important. UNL is not the only company in the insurance business that has home health care. We didn't invent it. It's been around in some way, shape, or form for 50 years. I'm not going to say all of our competitors because I don't know every company, but I can tell you that the vast majority of carriers who do home health care insurance are going to require a 3-day hospitalization stay in order to trigger benefits. If you get cancer, do you go to the hospital for 3 days? No. If you break your hip, do you go to the hospital for 3 days? No. If you get COPD, do you go to the hospital for 3 days? No, no, no. There is nothing to me, this is going to be me getting, I should stand up here and get on a soapbox. This is where I'm going to get on my soapbox. But there is nothing more reprehensible to me than an insurance company providing, when somebody has the wherewithal to buy insurance that most people don't have, they spend their hard-earned money into it. Then when they need the company the most in their time of need, based on some bullet point on page 8C31, the claim gets denied because of technicality. You weren't in the hospital for 3 days, Mrs. Smith. Sorry for taking your $5,000 of premiums over the years.
$10,000 bankers, right?
What?
I said, you said
Yeah, I did. I
He
did.
stole them, he didn't give the claims process.
And we wouldn't do it. But we were putting this product together, and I said if we had to do it, the 3-day hospitalization stay, we're not doing it. I refuse to be a part of that. Other people can do that, that's their prerogative, that's not my prerogative. So for us, in order to trigger benefits, it's just the inability to do 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, which actually makes sense. If you can't do 2 of the 6 ADLs, then of course, by definition, you are going to need care in your home. Before I get into this, I just want to say one thing about kind of our products. Everybody's got to have a niche, thing that they do. What makes you you? The UNL product portfolio, we have the Shield series, it's 4 different products. We're talking about home health care today. As long as I'm in charge of what products we sell, every product we sell is going to check 1 of 3 boxes. And of course, this one checks all 3. Number 1, it's going to be easy to explain. There is a place for an indexed annuity that is tied to the Australian stock exchange, whatever. That's just not for us. We don't do that. Number 2, our policies will be field underwritten. They're going to be easy issue stuff. The answers are no, you will get a policy, period. And number 3, we will have aggressive commissions. We will not be the highest commission, but we will always be super aggressive. Getting a check from somebody is hard. People who work in home offices don't understand that. If you're good enough to get a check from somebody and a commitment to pay for it every month, we're going to make it worth your time. I think that this product fits the bill for all 3 of those. In fact, I'm pretty confident that it does. That said, if I get a phone call from somebody in this room a month later, a month from now, and you're like, look, I'm in. I want to cross-sell more. I'm presenting it, and I'm trip it up. It's going to be on this page. I would bet dollars to donuts if you're spending too much time on this. So if you, this is the brochure for the, by the way. So this is going to match what you take out in the field. What would make sense? This is where going in the field helps. I've been out and I've sold it a lot because I kind of made this mistake when I first started and I found myself having trouble. The thing that makes the most sense, this is the schedule of benefits and everything that we pay. The thing that makes the most sense is to go down the list of all of these things and show, look, you get this, you get this, you get this. How many of these people are familiar with exactly what medical social services are? Can explain it in detail? No one? Esterostom therapy, I can never say that word. Experts on respirational therapy? No, you're not. So if you go through those things line by line by line, and you get to that, and Mrs. Smith asks you what that is, now you got two choices. You can say, I don't know, which isn't as bad as other people think it is, but it's less than ideal. You want to know. Number two, you can lie. Please don't lie. Please don't lie. So let's talk about this page right here. This is the meat. The policy's got 4 parts. This is the meat of the policy. Here's how it works. Number 1, we're going to pay claims on 360 days, which is different than the day you go on claim lasting a 360-day counter starting. The only time you use a day is a day where you receive benefits. So for example, if somebody receives benefits every other day, the plan will last for 2 years. If they receive benefits every 3rd day, the plan will last for 3 years, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In addition to that, so we have 3 levels of plan. The plan A has over $50,000 of benefits available to it. The plan B has over $100,000 of benefits available to it. And the plan C has over $150,000 available to it for the duration of the policy. I'm going to go through the plan B just for explanatory purposes. Of course, whatever you think your client needs, kind of based on how the needs assessment goes, feel free to present whatever you want. Mrs. Smith, the plan B, this is exactly how I do when I go in the house and I'm talking to her. Mrs. Smith, the plan B is our most popular option. So that's what I'm going to go through and show you exactly how it works. It's going to pay you, just like I said, it's going to pay you 360 separate days. So if you're receiving care every other day, you'll have 2 years of benefits. It's going to pay you based on the schedule. So for your skilled nursing, your general nursing, your physical therapy, your speech therapy, your occupational therapy, the most common things that happen, we're going to make sure you get paid. So what I want to tell you is that if you go on claim, you want to make sure you receive these benefits on the same day, because we're going to pay you up to $300 a day. So if you have your physical therapist and your skilled nursing come in, that's $300 a day. You will max out at $100,000 of benefits, and then go on to the next one. Period. I want to tell you one thing. Everything I say up here is a suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do. I do not care what it takes for you to make the sale. Do whatever it takes, as long as it checks 3 boxes. Is it moral? Is it ethical? Is it legal? If you can check all those boxes, sell it however you have to sell it. I'm just giving you ideas. So I sell it. You're going to get over $100,000 of benefits, and you can see right here the 4 most common ones. You're going to max it out as long as you're doing your claim the right way. Go to the next page. Part 2. Now this, Mrs. Smith, this is in addition to what we just talked about. So you can get more than $300 a day. If something happens to you, and let's say you break your hip, your physical therapist comes twice a week, but you still need help around the house that's custodial in nature. We're going to pay for that too. So on the plan B, we're going to pay $80 for every single day that you have that you receive custodial care. And we're going to do that for over 60 days. It's a $5,000 benefit. And it's outside of that schedule we just showed. It's in addition to, it's not part of it. So they can actually receive $380 of benefits a day. We're going to come to the prescription in a second. We'll do that last. Number 4, which is the third one we're going to talk about, the restoration of benefits. Mrs. Smith, something happens to you, you break your hip. I always like to use a broken hip. That's a lot less morbid than, you had a severe stroke. You break your hip, 9 months go by. You receive 6 months of home health care for your physical therapist, your custodial care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. After you're deemed healthy, 9 months go by, you go back to your doctor, and they didn't set it right. and they gotta go and they gotta put in a screw. Stuff happens all the time. So they do another surgery. You go back on claim, guess what? Your benefits restore in full. Not only do they restore in full, they will restore in full forever. If you get better from that, as long as you're 6 months healthy, they will continue to restore over and over and over again. So Mrs. Smith hasn't followed.
So it doesn't have to be a different ailment? Like
It can be, that's why I use that example, it can be the same ailment. It can be, the only stipulation is they have to have a clean bill of health from a physician for 6 months. They can't max out the plan, pay out of pocket for 6 months and go back on claim. A doctor has to say that they're healthy. As long as the doctor says that they're good, yeah. So Mrs. Smith breaks her hip, the example I just used, and then she gets better the second time, and then 4 years go by and she has a stroke, full benefits all over again.
How does it go as far as paying premiums while receiving care?
You pay premiums while you're on,
Okay.
while you're on claim.
So Rush, you get that $300 a day in the previous slide, you have to have more than one of those services. happen.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So what we tell them, it's what you don't want to do. I was actually probably a little too explanatory about it. What I actually do when I'm in the house, I probably sold 20 of these. Mrs. Smith, there's a way to make sure that you can get this $300 every single day. If you ever go on claim, give me a call. You don't want to talk to them about, look, you got to stack this here and there, and then they're thinking about being sick and on claim and having to do all their therapy on one day. Just say, I can make sure that probably in all likelihood you get the full $300 every day. Just call me if you ever go on claim. You'll get your $100,000 to the extent that you're. So what's another thing to look at? Let's go back. I always like to look at minimums, not just maximums. Like you highlight the maximum, over $100,000 of benefits on the plan B. What's the minimum? The minimum is the smallest benefit is $100 a day. Let's say all they do is get respirational therapy for 360 days. The odds of that are exactly zero. If they're doing that, they're getting all this other stuff too. Let's say they get the cheapest benefit every day. They're still getting $36,000. They're only doing the $100 thing every day. So you're probably going to get like $100,000 if you max it out. But worst case scenario, you'll get like 50.
So what's the example that you used? You said, hey, if you go on claim, call me. Like, if they call us, how are we?
Dude, then all you got to do is when they go on claim, it's a 5-minute conversation. Mrs. Smith, make sure when you go on claim and you receive treatment, have them all come on the same day. And then you'll get the full benefits. Don't have somebody come every day. First of all, you don't want to do that. Who wants to have a therapist come every day? So just have at least 2 of them come on the day and you'll max out the benefit. That's what the custodial care is for. So the good thing about the custodial benefit too is they can have a family member do it as long as they're licensed. And getting licensed, all you got to do is write a check and file it. I think you go to every state's different, but I think you go to like a 2-hour, like a 1-day class on a Saturday, and you can get a certificate. So the benefits restored in full. You get the custodial care, and you get over $100,000 in benefits. We're not going to talk about the prescription drug benefit yet. For a 65-year-old, would anybody like to guess an annual premium? That's the monthly. You got it right. $47 a month. So it's $570 a year, I think. Okay? Just keep that number in your head. In addition to that, this comes with it, part 3, prescription drug benefit. What percentage of your clients are taking prescription drugs? 99 or 100? 99? They're almost all taking prescription drugs. If your client is taking 2 brand name prescription drugs, let's just say that's what they're doing, okay? They're going to receive $25 every time they get it filled. So they're getting a monthly fill, 2 drugs, they're going to get $50 a month back. You see, it's $25, we rebate them for every drug they're taking. Period. It doesn't matter what the drug costs. If it's free, they get $25. If it's a $100,000 chemotherapy drug, they get $25. They get $25 for every brand name drug they're taking, and of course, 10 for every generic. So if they're receiving $50 a month, 50 times 12 is $600. That's how much they're going to receive back from UNL. Okay? What was the premium?
Annually or monthly? How's that work?
I'll talk about how to do the claim. That's my next point. I'm going to save you guys a big headache in about 5 minutes. They're going to make $570 annualized premium. So they're going to make $30 by having this plan. Mrs. Smith, here's my proposal to you. I'm going to give you $100,000 of home health care benefits, $5,000 of custodial care benefits. I'm going to make sure that if you get sick and you get better, the benefits restore in full, and I'm going to pay you to get the plan.
what's the number one objection you're gonna get?
I don't want to do claim forms.
Well, the good news is you don't have to do claim form for the prescription drugs. It's gonna be, that sounds too good to be true. So we have, as a company, in fact, and I'm gonna talk about how to get over that objection, then we'll talk about claims, have kind of made a change on how we do this training. When we first started it, the training was, Mrs. Smith, essentially, we're gonna pay you to get this plan. And that objection came up all the time. That's too good to be true. And you can get over it, we'll talk about that, but you'd rather not get the objection. So the only thing that I recommend, once again, do your thing, is not doing the math for them. Just say it's $47 a month, and they're gonna give you $600 back. But don't do the 600 minus 570, they're gonna pay you $30 a year to get it, because then it sounds like a scam. It's not, but it sounds like it. So the plan at $47 a month, even without the prescription drugs, is already kind of worth it. Then you tell them they're gonna get $600 back, that makes it feel good. Are most of them gonna multiply 47 times 12 in their head and subtract that from 600? Probably not. Probably not. Some won't. So let's talk about getting over that objection. That sounds way too good to be true. I think it's a scam. I don't believe it. 3 ways to overcome that objection. I'm gonna give you the order of how they work. How I do it, when I say first, second, and third. First thing I say is, this plan, I don't have the brochure for this. Plan is, the Mayo Clinic stands behind this plan. They have put services into this. Not only do they believe in it, to put their name on it, they're adding services for you to use this. I mean, you've probably never heard of me, probably never heard of UNL. The Mayo Clinic's not gonna put their name behind something that's not what it purports to
So
be.
you said that in the brochure it actually has co-branding of the Mayo
Yeah,
Clinic
look
on
at the
it.
front page. Look at the front page. Here's the front page right there. Can you see it? The Mayo Clinic logo is on the front page.
Point to it.
Right here. And there's a whole Mayo Clinic page in here when you open it up. The Mayo Clinic benefit that we provide, that they provide, I should say. They don't have to pay extra for it. And then sometimes that's enough. And if it's not enough, I'll say, I know this is a novel concept, but let's tell them the truth. You know, Mrs. Smith, to be perfectly honest with you, UNL's got bean counters in the back room. They let them out like once a day to get air and sunlight, and they have to go back in. Who figure out how much these things cost. That's what they do, on accident. Now, they have no idea whether or not you're gonna take the time to take advantage of your prescription drug benefit. But I'll tell you what they have a really good idea of, is if we sell 1,000 of them, they know that only 500 are gonna do it. Now, I've been doing this a while. I've never had somebody say they're not gonna take advantage of it, but only half of the people do. So the choice is yours. If you wanna get the $600 back, you can do it. If you don't wanna do it, the plan's still worth what it is for this $47 a month. The choice is yours. I would recommend you take advantage of it. So let's talk about doing claims. That's very important. If you sell, now, we've got different agents who sell this product, to some who don't even really mention the prescription drug benefit, to some who sell it almost exclusively on the prescription drug benefit, of course, everywhere in between. How hard do they lean on that one benefit? If you're the type who plans on really utilizing that benefit as a sales tool, I'm going to save you a lot of frustration right now. If you sell it on this thing alone, super hard, and you don't do this, you're gonna get annoyed. Let's say all you do is you sell on the benefit, you make the sale, you deliver it. 30 days, they go get their drugs, what's the first thing they're gonna do? Call you on the phone, right? What was United American National, what was that company again? What do I do? Okay, Mrs. Smith, here's this United National Life, here's the phone number, all you gotta, and all they have to do to get a claim, let me take a step back, go to their CVS or Walgreens or wherever they get their pharmacy is, just print out a list, and it'll show them their drugs. All it's gotta have is their name, the drug, and the quantity. That's it. And they just write their policy number on it and send it in, and they get a check. No claim form, no nothing. So they call you a month later. You help them out. Should you help your client with claims? Yes, of course. How much you get paid to do that? Nothing. It's a part of the service that you offer. Do you want to be a claim specialist? Not unless you want to go broke. So you want to help them if they need help, but it's not something we really want to spend our time on in a perfect world. If Mrs. Smith's calling you every month about that thing, let's say you sell 2 a week. If you commit to this, I promise you will sell 2 a week. Say you sell 2 a week, that's 100 a year. Say your persistency is 70%. That would be low. Let's just say it's 70%. That means you got 70 clients calling you every single month. About half of them are calling you. 35 a month.
Every month, every day you're getting a phone call. You gonna like that? No. So here's what you do. Mrs. Smith, I am going to call you in a year. You're taking, or if they're taking 3 drugs, you can see, you wanna do this claim one time a year. Either when you've maxed it out or the year is up, whichever comes first. So if they're taking 4 brand name drugs, you know in 6 months that they're gonna max it out. Call me in 6 months. You only have to do it once a year. They only have to do it once a year, so they're not frustrated. Additionally, for you, it's a way back in the house. You're gonna give this person $600. If you're keeping their needs, their assessment, you might know what they need and you just freed up $50 a month by doing that process. And then selfishly for us, personally, we do have a vested interest in you only doing it once a year. It takes a claims specialist the exact same amount of time to do a 1 drug claim as it does to do a full year's worth. So if you're doing it once a year, you're gonna save us 12 times the work. It benefits everybody. Make sure you're only doing this once a year. Or you'll get annoyed, I promise you. I only know that because we didn't say that at first and people got annoyed. Go ahead.
I want to understand something. So on the drugs, the way you make money, obviously if 100% take the claim and put the claims in, you're not going to make money.
We would lose a lot of money.
Right. So it's just an actuary decision based on the probability of the people that will make that claim.
A slightly more than probability, insofar as it's a historical data, but yes.
Okay. Whether they pay for the drugs or not.
Whether they pay for the drugs or not, correct. So I get this question a lot, a variation of what you just asked. Not so much as like, how is the client gonna believe it, but how can you sell this
Well,
and make
that's what a
money?
reasonably smart person would
Right,
ask.
like, I get that from agents all the time. Why? You're gonna go broke. I'm gonna sell so much of this, your company's gonna go out of business. Some version of that. So I'll tell you my personal situation, and you can ascertain whatever you want from that. Being the head, like, there's different levels of sales guys in our businesses. Most guys who are like regional sales managers, they get a bonus based on how much they sell, right? Mine's a little bit different. Being the head of sales, I get bonus on how much money we make as an organization. It doesn't matter how much we sell. If we sell a ton and we lose money, I don't get anything. So if this product was not performing well for us, we would be talking about cancer insurance today. Because I want to get paid too. This thing's performing really, really well. I think we're getting, our claims loss ratio is like 20%. So,
How long have you been selling this one for?
2 years. Now it'll go up as people actually, the 20%, I think, 15 of it is prescription drugs. As people get older and start to use the actual home health care benefit, it'll go up, but it's way lower than we anticipated it being. Go ahead.
Are these rates that we have to actually have, are they locked in?
They're not, they're attained age. They're locked in, so if you can tell them what the rates will be, they're not like, we're gonna do a rate increase, but they are attained age. We'll get to that in a little bit. They go up every 5 years.
I think one of the fits that people like here is, during the Medicare season like now, where you're doing an advantage plan, where you lose that first 4 or 5 days in the hospital. So yeah, you put this thing on and you add that ride over
Right.
20 bucks, $20 hospital indemnity.
You got it, you got it. That's-
So, my question is, can you just do these with any, supplement plans too?
These home health care plans, you can do with that, you can,
Everything.
anything you want.
Full health isn't covered on the
And plus, these are you could literally, if someone had like a Kemper home health care plan, you could sell them this too.
Yeah.
They get 5 home health care plans if they wanted to. They should.
One more question.
Ask away.
On the hospital indemnity plan, so basically you guys, people that were selling those before, I'm looking at that. I'm like, why would you sell a hospital indemnity plan when you can do this?
The only reason you would is, the only problem with our hospital indemnity rider is it's not very malleable. I mean, you can only do 3 or 6 days. And you
Yeah,
can
it's
only
50 cents in the dollar.
Right, so you might not, let's say the deductible's 4 days and $350. You can't match it up dollar for dollar. But unless your client really cares about that, the answer is you wouldn't. You know why? 1, our commission's higher than hospital indemnity. 2, the rates are really good. And 3, there's no underwriting. It's like a win-win-win. So the answer is you wouldn't.
And it's indemnity goes directly to them.
Yes, you got it.
Well,
I
that-
can hire you, just come sell. This is the Mayo benefit. I'm not gonna go through it. You guys can read it on your own. So this is what he was talking about. We got a bunch of riders. I'm only gonna talk about this one. The other ones are pretty good, but they're really inexpensive. They're easy to sell. Everybody in this room can figure out how to do it on your own. So we have a hospital confinement rider. I want to be, how many of y'all do EAPs? Okay, if you do an EAP, it won't let you make this mistake. If you do paper apps, you could get frustrated and make this mistake, so I just want to go through it right now. the axiom, I suppose, that I use is you can downshift, but you can't upshift when you put this plan on. So we have the 3 plans for the home health care. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. For the rider, if you do a Plan A, you can only do a Plan A hospital indemnity rider. If you do a Plan B, you can do a Plan B or a Plan A hospital indemnity rider. If you do a Plan C, I think y'all get it, you can do a Plan C, B, or A hospital indemnity rider. But you can't do an A and do a C rider. We don't want people selling this as hospital confinement with a little bit of home health care, because there is no underwriting, and then we would go broke. So if you look, we did the Plan B. So what's the typical hospital confinement copay for Medicare Advantage here? $350 for how many days? 5. So let's say we sold them a Plan C. Then you would do the Plan C rider, you do 6 days, $300 a day. Boom. Just like a hospital indemnity plan, but it's a rider. So let's go through the rates on that. The rates on that would be $52 a month. You see that right there? $52.55, everybody see that? And then for the rider, they made us call it the accident and sickness hospitalization rider. It's a hospital confinement rider. If you're in the hospital, you get it. It's some stupid compliance thing. It's $24 a month. What was the first one? 50. So it's $80 a month. They get their hospital confinement taken care of. They get the Plan C home health care, which is $150,000. So it's $80 a month. It's $960 a year, and they're going to get $600 back. So they're only paying $30 a month. You have now taken care of their Medicare Advantage and their long-term care. We see a lot of this, a lot. And you know, that's when you're starting to get to those $650 commissions that we were talking about earlier too.
Quick question.
Yep.
On the base policy, let's say you do a B, why can't you do an A or a C?
You can do an A. You just can't do a C.
You can't go higher on
You
the
can't go
hospital
higher.
indemnity.
You can do the same, or you can go lower. Just because the underwriting on this is so. I mean, you've done hospital confinement plans. The underwriting is pretty tight. It's med sub underwriting. This is 2 health questions. If we've got people out there selling this as pure hospital indemnity and then just giving them this tiny little Plan A, then our premiums get all out of whack and we could lose a lot of money. We need this sold as a home health care plan and the hospital confinement as a rider.
What are 2 questions?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Let's go to the application. 3 ways to submit business to UNL. Number 1, go to unlinsurance.com. You need an internet connection, log in, there's an e-app right there. Number 2, you can go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and download our app. You can do that on a tablet or you can do it on your phone. The good thing about those is and we can do a paper app. Those are the 3 ways to do it.
What's the name of the app?
United National Life.
Yeah, just type that in, it comes up.
The paper app and the app on the phone, like from the store, the iTunes, they do not require any sort of phone call. You sign the app, you can do a wet signature on the phone or tablet. If you're going to unlinsurance.com, you've got to call a phone number after the app. It's 1-833-SOLD-UNL. It's not an interview. It's just a basically voice signature. It's like 5 questions. What did you buy? And we have a script. Hopefully you sent it, but it's just like a fact finder. You write down the answers as you do it and you point to it because we already know what the questions are. It's 5 questions. It's 3 minutes long.
And on the app, you don't have to do that.
On the app, you don't have to do it. But so we've got a lot of people who do paper apps and then go back to the office and put it in as an e-app. You can still do that. You can do the paper app, do the phone call. It doesn't have to be in the system yet. Have them do the call and then come back to the office and put it into the e-app on the website. We have a lot of people do that. You just got to make sure. I would do the phone call, of course, in the house with the client.
It's the same phone call as GTL.
Exact same. I was the one who designed it. I designed it. I just got an email saying we saved $25,000 this month from switching it from what it was before. I was like, do I get a chunk of that? Wait, it's better and it's cheaper? Fancy that.
We'll give you a free plan.
What?
We'll give you a free plan.
I know, seriously. So I'm just going to go through the paper app real quick. First page is paint by numbers. You fill out all this information. The only thing you really need to know for when you collect a check, you can do a voided check as long as you put the bank information on there. So we're going to get to your favorite part, the underwriting. Here's the stuff for all the riders. One of the things that we just introduced in South Carolina, it might even be going live today or next week, is something called straight-through processing. So when you submit your business on the e-app, they get a policy in 15 minutes if you want it to be like that. The good thing for you, if you do that, of course, you will get paid faster, because it's issued, it goes into our issue bank, and you'll get paid more quickly. Here are the health questions. They're very, very strict on you. For the Plan A and the Plan B, we've got two. Number one, is the applicant currently in a nursing home? You can't go to nursing homes and write this stuff. We will not take it. Number two, is the applicant unable to perform routine activities of daily living, bathing, dressing, eating, continence, toileting, or transferring to a bed or a chair without physical assistance, or are they cognitively impaired? You say no to both of those, congratulations, you get a home health care policy. One of the things I always like to look at isn't so much what the questions we ask, talk about what we don't ask. Do you have COPD? Do you have cancer? Do you have a heart attack? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't ask any of those. We're like the Ellis Island of insurance companies. Give us your weak, you're sick, you're hungry, we'll take them. The only stipulation to that is if they file a claim in the first 6 months, not a drug claim, an actual home health care claim, we will go back 2 years to see if it was a pre-existing condition. So if Mrs. Smith has cancer and files a claim 3 months later, on the basis of having cancer, she has cancer and falls down the stairs, we'll cover it. But if the claim is a result of a pre-existing condition, that would be denied. But it's only 6 months. As long as they don't file a claim in the first 6 months, no matter what they had previously, we will take it. And then if you do a Plan C, we've got a third question. In the next 60 days, does the applicant expect to be admitted to a hospital, nursing home, or assisted living facility, or require home health care services or have surgery? That's it. And everybody gets it.
So if, in that 6 months, find out that she had a precondition, cancer, like you said, what happens then? She'd be reimbursed her,
It's a good question. I've not been asked that. I would assume she would get all of her money back, yeah. Sure we would. Just like if you do it with life insurance, you do a graded policy in the first 2 years. I assume we'd give the premium back. I don't know that for sure. I'll look into that.
okay.
It's a good question.
Or just a final plan for 2 months.
Any other questions on that?
So if somebody has, say, dementia, but they're performing all the.
No, because we asked the
So
cognitive.
that right there.
Yeah, and just to be clear, also the reason we asked the cognitively impaired question, we do pay claim for cognitive impairment, even if they can do all 6 ADLs.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
How do they prove it?
Doctor, physician. What? You know, but at the end of the day, it sounds good for us, but if they're cognitively impaired, it's not like they've got a physical therapist, speech pathologist coming, they're just using the custodial benefit anyway.
And the one that Renee had to do with someone having a colostomy.
Yes, I do know that, I can just never pronounce that word. It's like, another word I can never say, even though I know what it means, I'm gonna butcher it, is rural, I can't say that word. Like the esterostomol is the same way, I can't say it. Okay, so that's it for home health care. We're gonna spend 10 minutes on dental vision. Do y'all have any questions? Do y'all think this is something you go out and sell? So I'm gonna present a challenge, and then I'll talk to Mike and John, and we'll come up with a cool little incentive to do. We'll do it in the next week. They qualify, they get it. Yep.
Rush should also end at 85 or 86.
No, so it only issued, but they can keep it forever. They can keep it forever.
So as they step up, what happens?
It stays, that's the top premium.
But as they step up, the premium goes up?
It's attained age, but that's an easy thing to get around, because most of these people have med subs, so their premium goes up every year. In fact, I sell a lot of cancer insurance in my day, and they got real confused when you told them the rate wasn't gonna go up. What? My med sub goes up every year. So you just say, this is actually better than med sub, because instead of going up every year, it only goes up every 5 years. We'll come up with a cool incentive for you guys in the next week or two, but one thing I want to challenge you to is that I know that this is one of the biggest ASB offices in the country, and you guys are always a very competitive group, and I know that Des Moines and Omaha are some of your rivals. The reason they're kind of beating you all a little bit is because of this. These guys, the guys in Omaha are gonna write over $1 million of this year. Taylor Laneson's office is gonna write, I think, $750,000 of this. So, to the extent that we care as an office about beating them, I think this is the product that can put y'all over the edge. That's why they have gotten on top of y'all. There was a question over here?
Yeah, you said every 5, so even if they get it at age 65, like with most cancer or critical illness policies, they keep the premium the same as when it was issued. But in this case, every 5 years it's gonna change.
And it could be less, like if they buy it when they're 75, it'll go up the next year. So it's just banded, but it's, when you present it, say, you know, Mrs. Smith, you know how your med sub goes every year? The good thing is this one only goes up every 5. But yes, it doesn't stay the same like a traditional cancer policy.
And that's
And
not
it's
gonna
slight
be the rate,
jumps.
that's not their rate increase, it's not gonna be that schedule, right?
No, it will be the schedule. This is the schedule.
Those are set rates. They just
These are set rates.
So when you get age 56 or 61, you're gonna pay 19.
Those are the rates.
It's really simple cut and
It's not like a med sub where they change the rates every year. It's not like that.
No, I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm with you guys, go belly up, and be like, sorry guys, we're going bankers down, 30% rate increase.
No, we have never had a rate increase in 57 years. I'm not promising you that we won't ever do it, but I can tell you the products are performing really well. I know, this is when I'm an agent. So, as an agent, whenever I got a rate increase, I was like, and then they canceled, I was like, man, you guys messed up. My client canceled. Like, don't make your problems my problems. It really annoyed me. So with that in mind, we will always do everything we can not to have a rate increase, but we're not gonna bankrupt the company. So if we ever get to that spot, of course we would do
So if
it.
you sell a 64-year-old, they'll have a rate increase the next year, and that'll lock in for 5 years according to that, or
At
is
the
it?
60, yes,
That's
correct,
correct.
correct.
And after age 85, it goes away?
No, they get to keep it forever. The rates just don't go up.
Okay.
And we can't, if they're 88, you can't buy one. The oldest you can buy it is 85.
Okay.
No trails, right?
What?
Just the upfront commission, no trails.
No, absolutely. Get renewals, man.
There's renewals.
This is a cash cow. Every house you walk into, you need to put one of these in place. Everybody needs it. Put one of these in place. It's going to change your income.
Five years.
Ryan Shockey, who out of Omaha, told me about this. Cannot talk enough about it. They're doing a couple of hundred a month. $1 million in premium in this. So we're missing the boat. This is the boat right here.
We missed it on long-term care like crazy. We used to do the bankers N400 home health care plans, and you'd sell 1 in 6 with no reimbursement at all just for talking about it. So, you know,
So this-
like he said, don't sell it just off a prescription.
This is my value proposition. You know, at the end of the day, why are we here? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? Can you explain to me why I should do this in 1 minute? What's your elevator speech, right? This is my elevator pitch to everybody in this room. And I promise you it's true because it's happening all over the country. Give me 10 minutes a house. 10 minutes. It's taking you an hour to sell this stuff, call me and we'll do some training. Give me 10 minutes a house, 5 minutes to do the ad. If you do that, give me an honest run in 10 appointments a week. I promise you, you will make a minimum of $30,000 or more in 2019 than you made in 2018 at the expense of nothing you're currently doing. This isn't taking the place of final expense or whatever it is. If you were making 70, you're gonna make 100. If you were making 20, you're gonna make 50. If you're making 150, you'll make 180, and that's minimal. That's like, I don't know how to sell it. I'm showing the brochure. Once you get good at it, sky's the limit. And it's true. When we first started, I said, oh, you can make this, but I didn't know. The guy who's written the most of this stuff has written over $200,000 this year. I don't know if you see it on the standings. I don't know if y'all get the standings for our convention.
Who is it?
It's a guy in Omaha, Nebraska. He's not an ASB guy.
I got a question for you, not to really harp on the other thing, but you mentioned before, and I thought this was different. So they can send one claim in for the entire year for all the medicines they've taken and get reimbursed $600, not $50 a month.
That's huge. We thought it was monthly.
No, not only can they, I want you to do that.
Every single person in this room is now sold because I'm like, I don't want to deal that every single month. Like
Yeah.
you said. And clients don't want to
I
deal
No,
with it.
and we don't.
I was under the impression it was monthly. I remember you.
Scott Cole is wrong.
I thought it was.
Well, now you tell us, well, we can do it monthly, but we prefer to do it annually.
How do they get that printout to do it annually? I mean,
All you gotta do, all they have to do is go to their pharmacy and say, I want a printout of all my drugs with my name on it.
for the last year.
Yeah, they'll print them all out and they just write their policy number and put it in an envelope and you'll get a check. So I'll tell you this, I don't call clients on the phone and ask them how they're doing with their home health care. My feedback is y'all. So everything when I say this is how it's going out in the field, I base it on feedback from everybody. And I'm gonna give everybody my cell phone number before I leave. And not a lot of people call all the time, but people who do think that we're best friends who call me 20 times a day. Be somewhere in the middle. I have gotten probably in 2 years, maybe 2 complaints about our drug claim situation. And I'm gonna say this now so there's no confusion, because it's been the same complaint both times. If they're taking a 90-day fill, they're only getting 25 bucks. It's per fill, not per month. So if you're selling it on the drug benefit and they don't max it out, you gotta have to switch it to monthly.
Okay, can we get just clarification?
Always, that's what I'm here.
On the or the ones that you have to make a phone call on?
Just if you go to unlinsurance.com and log in.
So, there you go.
If you use the app or the one for the tablet, that's what I recommend.
Right.
You ain't gotta do nothing, you just submit it and you're done.
And they'll just wet sign it with their finger on the tablet.
My tablet doesn't let sign it, so,
Do you have a stylus? Yeah, it should. What do you have?
no, it's old. Well, okay. Yeah, well, here, give me that.
Any other questions?
What's the name of the app, UNL.com?
Yeah, just go to the app, just go to whatever you have, iTunes or Google Play, type in United Nationwide.
Okay.
And if, I'm gonna give you the most important phone number you're gonna get. It's not my phone number. Everybody write this down. It's easy to remember. 833-SELL-UNL. That's our agency support line. We'll help you with all. Talk to Anna or Carrie. They're amazing. They're never allowed to leave. They think they are, but they're not. 833-SELL-UNL.
And 833 sold UNL was what?
The verification call.
Okay.
Try to make it as easy to remember as we can.
Yeah, so it says UNLE.
Yeah.
And are y'all just in town contracting or you gotta get contracted themselves? How are?
Hey. So I would recommend everybody that's getting contracted to ECS now, but if you don't, that's fine too. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. We've got to process your contract. So if you like to wait on getting paid, do just-in-time contracting. If you like to get paid quickly, do it today and then you don't have to worry about it.
Is there anybody in here that doesn't wanna get contracted? John, contract everybody.
Okay, cool. So, any more questions on that?
Rush,
Yeah,
can they email or fax in that drug?
yeah, of course.
They can?
Yeah.
And there's no claim form, so just put
No
your
claim. I mean,
policy number on it, send it in.
there's a claim form for the home health care benefit,
Right, but I'm
but
saying
no claim
after-
form for the drugs. And the claim form for the home health care benefit, you'll have to do one time. One time. Not every time you send in a claim.
No, I don't mean to really harp on this, just.
No,
like
this
said,
is-
just wanna
I
make
flew
sure
out here to
it's
answer
clear,
these
because I
questions.
haven't sold one yet, and I want to,
Yeah.
so. They get their annual report, you said it's per fill, that was the only complaints you guys had. Per fill, per medicine,
Yes.
so they show you, they take 4 brand name drugs. Okay, alright, that's fine.
So taking 4 brand name drugs, they would get, that'd be 12 a year, right? No, it'd be- if it was quarterly, it'd be 16 a year,
16 a year.
times 25, $400.
Most of the time, they're not doing name brand, they can mail order anyway.
No, you can
Because
take
it costs
as many or as few as you want. That's just to max it out.
Generic.
If they're
generic
taking
mail
2
order.
brand names monthly, they'll max it out.
Rush, you're gonna do dental too, right?
I'm gonna give you 10 minutes on dental unless I get booed out of the building.
No, only because I'm afraid of one. Somebody who actually read every word of that brochure asked that question, we said, we don't know.
About the dental?
Yeah, cause remember we talked about that last night, the dental will be
Oh.
on that brochure.
You'll have old brochures. So we used to have a dental vision rider, which doesn't exist anymore, and you'll have old brochures that say we have it. We've gotten rid of that. We have a standalone dental vision.
Come on, Scott.
And starting next year,
They just sent us the brochures.
starting next year, the home health care and the dental vision, even though they're standalone plans, are all gonna be on the same paper application. So it'll feel like a rider if you want to do it as such.
But it's not on the application.
It's not on there now. Now there's a separate dental vision application, which you have. All right, let's do dental to 8 minutes.
We haven't done it yet because we didn't do it. You can log
And
in.
the website is UNL.com.
UNLinsurance.com.
And I know you showed on the board.
Rush, how quickly do you guys pay commission?
Excuse me. I know it said on the screen, but if we can start as early as 4, we can start as early as
Whatever the age was, I think it's 40. I think 40 is the lowest.
I just wanted to make sure I know.
For commissions, now that we've got the straight through processing, if you get it, we pay commissions to ASB, not to the agency, because y'all are one check agency. ASB pays your commissions, not UNL. We pay commissions, I think it's anything submitted by midnight on Wednesday, we will pay Thursday night to ASB.
In other words, there's a 1-week turnaround.
1 week turnaround, it used to be without if you're doing paper apps, you need to get them in Monday by noon. If you fill them out clean and you get it in Monday by noon, 95% of the time you'll get paid that week. If you're doing e-apps and it's straight through processing, as long as you do it on Wednesday, you'll be good to go.
All right, let's talk about dental. Really exciting topic. Do we need to go through all this stuff again? So we've got these fancy things on why people need dental insurance, creating the need. How many of y'all need to create the need for dental? we just put it in there because we had to make a brochure. And we've got some good stuff if somebody's trying to like give you pushback on it, but for the most part, it's not that they don't think they need it. What's the problem? You have a good solution, right? Is that fair? So here's what happens. I want to talk to you about how dental insurance works. We're going to spend 9 minutes on this. 7 of them are going to have nothing to do with UNL. So here's how dental insurance works. So first of all, start with the fact that dental insurance, oddly enough, is different than every other insurance that exists. For one very small but very important reason. People buy cancer insurance, home health care insurance, med subs, homeowners insurance, auto insurance, major medical insurance, all of these things. You know why they buy them? Praying they never have to use them. No one has ever bought a $50,000 cancer policy and been like, man, I hope I get cancer in 90 days so I get that money. Ever. Right? Or they're real weird. Why do people buy dental insurance? They want to use it. That matters. Here's why. Health insurance companies have been making money for years to varying degrees. And one of the ways they make money is by doing something that we call inside limits, right? So I'm going to use cancer insurance as an example. I sell Mrs. Smith a cancer insurance policy. She pays into it for 30 years. Maybe she never gets cancer. Hopefully she never gets cancer. Let's say she gets diagnosed with cancer in situ. She's got a $50,000 plan. Page 6 of the insurance policy says, to get diagnosed with cancer in situ, you get $5,000. There's a lot of companies who do that. That's an example of an inside limit. It's a way to mitigate the risk for the insurance company. And what does Mrs. Smith do when that claim gets paid? Well, she did buy the policy. It does say that's what you get. She didn't read it all the way through. She probably should have, but who really does that? And the policy's done. She's got her check. There's nowhere to complain. She'll go tell all her friends about how insurance companies are evil, and that's why people don't like insurance companies. But at the end of the day, the insurance company is made whole based on this inside limit. And they've been doing this with various products since the beginning of the creation of insurance. That's why everybody, we deal with the auto insurance too. Dental's different. So companies decided about 20 years ago that we need to go to the dental insurance market. There's a place there for us. And we'll create these plans that have inside limits, just like we've been doing on everything else. So let's talk about how that looks. So I'm not going to use any names. I'm just going to use another carrier who does it just because I know their plan really well, okay? Mr. Agent goes out and sells a dental insurance policy to somebody. It pays you 80% of what you get, pays 80%. They've had major medical their whole life. What do you have with major medical? 80% coverage, right? 80% rings a really good bell. So 6 months later, Mrs. Smith gets a root canal and she goes to file a claim, $1,000. Well, here's the first day. Number one, they don't pay claims on what the root canal costs. They pay claims on the usual and customary charge for the root canal. Yeah, and guess who makes those payments? The insurance companies. So they're a little bit lower to mitigate their risk. So they'll pay the claim based on $700. Use that as an example. Yeah, you get 80% coverage, but you gotta have the plan for 3 years. Year 1, you get 60, year 2, you get 70, year 3, you get 80. So you're gonna get 60% of $700. That's $420. And you have a $100 deductible. Mrs. Smith gets a check for $320, right? When she's expecting $700 or $800, what is she gonna do? She's gonna call you and she's probably gonna cancel. So contrary to what people think, insurance companies have to keep plans on the books for a long time to make money. The most aggressive plans got to be on the books for at least 15 months before we make our first penny. We're advancing commissions, we have admin costs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when that happens, it's a lose, lose, lose. Mrs. Smith is annoyed with the agent, hates insurance companies, hates the dental plan. You get charged back, you're really annoyed. You can never make money because all the new business you write is just paying those chargebacks. And the insurance companies lose money. Insurance companies are like governments, they're predictable. What do insurance companies do when they're losing money on a product? Raise rates and lower commissions, right? They're getting creamed. The only way out of this hole is to lower commissions and raise rates. So now this plan that already was bad costs more money and you're not gonna get paid for it.
Sounds good so far.
Sounds good, doesn't it? So, not only that, if you're a good agent and you're cross-selling, what's the first thing they're gonna use when you sell them dental? dental. You sold them a med sup, home health care, life insurance, and dental. 6 months go by, they get a root canal and it's garbage. If they might cancel it all. I have personally experienced that. So when they ask me if I have dental, you know what I say? I do have dental, Mrs. Smith, and it sucks. You don't want it. And their head starts spinning. Like the insurance guys tell me not to get insurance. I can trust this guy. And it's also true. So we have the novel idea of coming out with a dental plan that actually does what a reasonable person would expect it to do. Note the reasonable person. When we first came out with this, we had this out about a year. We had somebody file a claim for a root canal they got in 2014, and we're mad that we didn't pay the claim. That is not a reasonable person. What would a reasonable person expect? So, our kind of idea is to not really make that much money at first on the plan, but then know that they will keep it. As long as they keep it, we know we'll win. So the first thing that we did, you get 80% coverage day one. There's no escalating up. Number two, we're going to pay the benefit on actual charges. If that root canal is $1,000, it gets paid on a $1,000 claim. So if they're eligible for it, they'll get $800. Number two, we stack the thing with a lot of wellness benefits. If they take advantage of it, they're going to get $350 of wellness benefits every single year, and we have a $100 deductible, like everybody else. Most people are aware of that. That's not a problem. And then number three, no network. They can go see whatever dentist they want. Just like other dental plans out there, we do have waiting periods because there's no underwriting. We can't have somebody buy a dental policy, go get a full mouth extraction, and then cancel. So 3 months into the plan, go get their teeth cleaned, get their eyes checked. That's $125 of their wellness benefits. $75 for the teeth cleaning, $50 for the vision check. You can also get your x-rays covered at 80%. And you can go, I think that's it. Yeah, x-rays, eye exam, and vision check. 6 months into it, you're covered for basic care, cavities, fillings, and you can also get $150 to get any sort of eyewear you want. It doesn't have to be glasses, it can be contacts too. So now you've reached $275 for your wellness benefits. The other $75 is your second cleaning, because we cover 2 cleanings a year. So that's $350 of wellness benefits every year. $150 for the cleanings, $50 for the eye exam, and $150 for the glasses. Then a year into the plan, you are covered for all almost all non-cosmetic dental care. Dentures, full mouth extractions, bridges, crowns, etc.
How much the implant?
We don't cover implants. The plan would be $1 million a month. That's considered cosmetic.
So, if, God forbid I got in a car accident and I had to have my teeth worked on, the plan would kick, well, hopefully the insurance,
Yeah.
but I can still use this
Yeah.
and that will cover it.
Of course.
Because that was an accident and not this.
Correct.
Okay.
So, we have three benefit levels: 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. You get to pick whatever you want. Meaning that's the most you're going to get that calendar year. We do it on a calendar year basis from our company. You'll notice that the premium differences are minimal. Most people do the $2,000 plan, and these are different than the home health care rates. These are locked in. These are issue age. They're never going to pay more. So you sell it to a 65-year-old, $46 a month for $2,000 in benefits. That's it. That's the right. The idea here is to give your client something valuable. Look, we work hard. Everybody works hard. I don't want to be in the business of selling bad insurance. I work too hard to do that. You guys work too hard to do it. If you're going to give somebody something, make it worth the paper it's printed on. And we've sold quite a bit. I mean, we're going to sell over $1 million of premium of this stuff this year, and it's a throw-in. I mean, we spent 5 minutes talking about it. So it's a really good value add. I encourage you, if you have clients, it's great if you're selling a med sub.
Is there any way to kind of like cross it over and add it to an existing UNL, like home health care we just did?
Of course. Yeah.
Or you said it's a whole separate app.
So it is a whole separate app. You'd have to go out and fill out another application. Going forward in January, it will be comboed on all of our paper apps. So it'll be on the home health care app, and it'll be on the cancer and hospital confinement app too.
So you can do it all at once on an e-apps?
Yeah, that's easy. You just click the products. It goes right through. And one thing, this is like super hush-hush, double secret probation. we're actually putting this on the GTL Med Sub too. I don't know if y'all sell the GTL Med Sub, I don't know what the rates are here are like, but if you're selling GTL Med Sub, you can just add the UNL Dental Vision on paper.
But just to do this standalone, if you wanted to, after January as well.
You can do standalone now, we've had it for a year, the apps are in there. The only thing that's annoying is you have to fill out a separate application.
And is there a family rate, or you just do?
Yeah, all of our stuff's individual. Individual.
So the children's riders, you can add, if I've got 2 kids, it's just 1 rider?
It's just one rider. So the way that our child rider works, I don't really spend a lot of time talking about it because we're all senior market, and I know most of the people are not having kids that would qualify. But the way the child rider works is it's the same rate whether or not you have 1 kid or 10 kids, but they share the rider.
Gotcha.
They share it. So if you have 10 kids, they're sharing that $2,000.
They're sharing $2,000.
Exactly. You only get 2 cleanings total. So if you got 3 kids, only 2 of them are getting their teeth cleaned.
So just your favorite kid gets their teeth pulled.
Exactly. Your teeth are already too bad. They're too far gone. Johnny's still got a chance.
Johnny's got a chance.
Yeah.
So,
All pulled out.
so with the paper app, there's no verification, e-app, there's the verification.
There's only thing with the verification is UNLinsurance.com. Like if you're on the website. So if you do the app like through iTunes or the Google Play, you don't need to do the verification for that either.
Provided though, you gotta do it.
You what?
Paper?
No, the only thing with the verification is UNLinsurance.com.
Okay.
So everybody just use the app. We ain't gotta worry about it.
And I don't know how many of y'all are writing business for us. I know V calls are less than ideal, but ours is not. You're probably thinking of an interview. It's like it's what I made GTL. It's the exact same thing. We had, to give you a little bit of a background, why we had like a third party company doing it, it was like a human being answering it, and their English was awful. Awful. And they were mean. Like if you didn't say the right answer, they like yelled at you. I didn't know that. I got a phone call from right when we came, because we just came out with the e-app like 6 months ago. GTL's had it forever. We have it for 1 month. One of our top agent calls and like, he goes, and he's a huge whiner, the biggest whiner we've got. So you guys are great. This guy's a whiner. And I'm like, I'm sure he's exaggerating. I'm sure it's an exaggeration. And because it's recorded, I listened to it. It was the worst thing I had ever. It was like, I'm like, I'm gonna end up on like in a courtroom. Like it was like this lady was like badgering this like poor 80-year-old woman and yelling at her, and you couldn't understand what she was saying. It was ridiculous, and we were paying like $10,000 a month for it. So I went to our head of IT, like, we need an automated solution, and that's what we've got now. So now it's so easy. It's 2 minutes. You can say the last 4 of your social, the product you bought, and say that you understand you have to pay premiums every month in order to get the plan. Yeah. It's easy.
That's the hardest question.
What?
Name of your agent.
Yeah.
And you said that at the age that you sell it, does it go up?
For dental, it does not.
Does not. So if you sold it to say a 37-year-old, it would never go past, they took out the $2,000 one, it would never go higher than 24.
Correct. The exception of that being if we ever have rate increase, which
Right.
this product is also performing really well too.
Okay.
The nice thing about this for us, like another thing I get asked all the time we do dental, like how are your rates? Are they gonna go up every time I write dental? The company's rates go up. We've got 5 years of experience in doing the writing. So we have a lot, excuse me. We have a lot of historical data, so we're very confident in this. We made money on the rider. The only reason we got rid of the rider was just, we had everybody clamoring like, I'm writing your insurance policies to get people dental vision. Can we have it as a standalone? Yeah, sure. Let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna get with Mike and John sometime next week. We will announce a pretty cool incentive, like a Christmas
You
based.
just freed up 25 grand in the whole app, so.
Yeah, unfortunately that's not my money. But we'll come up with something cool, and we'll announce it next week. Do me a favor, catch Omaha and Des Moines, so I can be like, look, you got a challenger here.
Amen.
Catch him.
Hallelujah, preach.
Yeah, absolutely. What? Oh, right, yes, my cell phone number is 214